The fuck was that? Oh, what's up, buddy?
Check on the herd. 3X dead. It ain't like that last one. You think you find a thing? That was a long time. Alright, be safe.
I think if you make eye contact with someone in Brazil, you have to kiss. You don't have to, but if you make eye contact, they will try. So like if I make eye contact with someone, they just start leaning in. They do say besos, so I guess it's asking for consent, but you have to like dodge it, and also like that's how you say no. Like if you're into it, you just go into, and if you're not, you just go like that, and then they're just like, oh, you're fucking lame. And so I was dodging a lot, even if the guy was attractive, because I don't even know you. There's no hello, how are you, my name is, like, come on. And so I was at this club, and it was these two guys and this girl, and she was stunning. She's like this hot Brazilian girl, and one of the guys like tried to lean in and kiss me, and I was like, and so then the other was like, oh, me? I was like, no. And I pulled out my phone, my Google Translate, and I wrote to her, and I was like, girl, why are the men like this? And she was like, honey, I took a screenshot of it. She's like, bitch, this is Brazil, like, stop being boring. Stop being boring. I was like, okay. I said, stop being boring. She said, yes, kiss them. We're in Brazil. And then I started making out with one of the guys. He was actually really good looking. And then I was like, besos. I'm in Brazil. I got strep throat. I lost my voice. I got maybe laryngitis. I literally got so sick. I take amoxicillin. I told her urgent care, so don't do that. When you go to Brazil, just don't kiss. I mean, maybe a little besos, but you don't need to be besos.
Why would you oh my God. So just because a hot girl in the club said, girl, this is Brazil, dude, you did it. Like, you see the mentality that most people have. You could not make the decision and stand on it on your own. You just had to do what somebody else suggested. And then you end up with some disease or infection or whatever you ended up with. Like, bro, I started watching Love Island USA again, and watching that movie, I get disgusted most of the time, fam. Like, I always said that I would try to go on one of those shows for the experience, but I could not stomach it, bro, because these people eat each other's face like it's nothing. Bruv, you know how many people have poor dental hygiene? Yo, man, and in the show we don't see everybody always brushing them teeth, and then oh my gosh. Yo, listen. Your mouth can be one of the most dirtiest parts of your body. I'm not about to be over here swallowing anybody's saliva, exchanging DNA and all that. No. Y'all are too comfortable with some of this madness.
Something that really gets me going is when like an old folk starts talking about like how things used to be. Like I demanded a job and I stepped in there, and they think that's still the case. So this is how to get old rich people to like you, because it's actually quite simple and it's a good sort of person to have like you. Number one, don't pull up to their crib looking like Alexis, Texas. Old people are insecure that they don't have that little body yachty, and you're gonna look that folk dead in the eye. You're gonna give them that firm handshake they're always talking about. Oh, I looked them in the eye. Two, be as weird as humanly possible. They don't know what's weird and what's not weird. And don't be afraid to throw your entire generation under the bus. They don't know what a pick-me is. You can be like, oh, I'm not like most girls. They'll eat that. They don't even know what that means. They just think it's hilarious. Number three, be as inquisitive as hell. They love to talk about their life because it's about to be over. And their life probably is pretty interesting. Since they're an old rich folk, they could have invented Walmart. They could have invented toothpaste. under eye bag cream. Similar to that, except the exact opposite is to get them in the know. Like, let them know like what's the new trend, you know? Get silly with them and make it sound like you're above everyone else that's your age. If you tell them you're hardworking, they'll slip it in, quite frankly, because they love a hardworking American. When they bring up their hate for social media, be like, hey, I have social media, and you know, I'm aware of the issues, but I'm there to monetize it because I'm trying to make something of myself. They'll be like, I swear. Okay, last thing, wherever you lost your virginity, you're gonna go take it back and you're gonna act like the most innocent motherfucker ever. You're gonna be like, hi, nice to meet you. You're going to be the silliest little ignorant thing on the planet. They're gonna be like, how pure. Because they're freaks, for real. Something that really gets me.
Why don't you just stop preying on people's money and just go get a job like a regular person, or go do content creation like you're doing now?
What does hidden depression look like?
Ooh, so hidden depression is not like the typical depression. When people think of depression, they think of someone crying, not getting out of bed. But hidden depression hides behind being pathologically productive. So imagine, you know, a single mom to take care of her kids, working at her job, and she cannot slow down. People depend on her. So what does she do? She shows up to work with a smile on her face. She's showing up for others, but she feels no joy. And it's something called anhedonia. It's a scientific term that I study in my lab. People don't even know it exists. So hidden depression doesn't necessarily look sad, but it doesn't feel joy. It feels empty.
Personally, if you feel emotionally drained, you feel stressed out, it is your responsibility to go take care of yourself. If you need to talk to somebody, talk to somebody. If you need to take a break from everything, orchestrate that, take a break. It's really that simple. Listen, I'm not gonna pity or make up excuses for anybody out here who is neglecting to take care of themselves. Like, you find so much time to do everything else but take care of you. There's no excuse for neglecting yourself. Make time for yourself.
My name's Kylie, and I'm obviously white. I grew up in a conservative white family, and I know there's been a lot of discourse about whether white people should talk about racism, and here's my argument for why I think that not only should we, but we have to. A lot of racism in white families occurs behind closed doors. I've been over at friends' parents' places and heard them say some pretty obscene things about people of color, assuming that I am on their side simply because I am white. Obviously, this makes for some awkward conversations when I do call them out, but point being, the depths of the racism and the darkness that seeps in deeply into these families can only, in my opinion, truly be exposed by other white people, because they will never be their full racist selves around anyone who is not white. They like to save face publicly and say that they're not racist, but then again, if you go into their homes and you hear the things they say, that would suggest otherwise. I just encourage you, if you're a white person and you know people like this, please say something. Don't just ignore it for fear of conflict.
That last one took me out. I'm like, listen. Men used to go to war. Do you even know why the first two world wars happened? Like, people who are uneducated are usually the ones who make some really ignorant comments. Men not going to war is not the reason why all of this shit is happening. All of this shit is happening because of you, woman. If you guys wanted equality, you wanted to fight for a bunch of rights that you thought you never had. I mean, some of them, sure. But yeah, you asked for this, and this is the result of your actions. Like, Actions have consequences. You know that this is the real world. But just a little bit of a history lesson. Wars were intended to break systems so that the victor could be in control. So I'm not gonna even go deeper there. If you want to learn about this, take your own time and go do some research. But wars were mostly about natural resources. It was about power.